we know the latest news out of Indianapolis. I can't even say the word. Indianapolis. You gotta say it fast, like Indianapolis. All right. The latest with the Colts. We got the trade request that came down from Jonathan Taylor, star running back. So how would this affect the Colts season? Not much. The Colts are not going to be a good team. I think they'll be a little bit slightly better than last year, but it won't be much of it'll be pretty much the same. Last season, 4-12-1, finished third place in the AFC South, missed the playoffs. They were one of the worst teams in football offensively, ranked 30th in scoring, 27th in yards. Defense, same thing pretty much. Taylor's been their best offensive player, at least for the last few years. Now, I like the Pittman guy, the wide receiver Pittman. I like this guy. I think he's slightly underrated. But the problem is they don't have a quarterback yet. And I'm not sold on Anthony Richardson. And that is going to be the problem. So, with that being said, they had a couple coaches last year. Their point differential was 138. This wasn't a good team. They haven't been in the playoffs in three years. Last time they made the playoffs was back in 2020 when they lost in the wild card game. That was the year they went 11-5, and they were second in the division. So, will that team return? I don't know. I highly doubt it. And they had Phillip Rivers as their quarterback at that time. So that was the last time they've seen any success. But ever since then, it's been all downhill. 9-8, and then 4-12, 4-12-1. So this is their worst year since 2017. Like the really bad year when they had Jacoby Brissett at quarterback with Frank Gore and T.Y. Hilton as their other offensives, with Chuck Pagano running the show. So, now let's go over the schedule, shall we? Let's go over the schedule. Let me pull this up. Schedule, week 1. At home, the home opener. At home to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence coming into town to put up a 50 spot on the Colts. On Fox. That game will be on Fox. I give the L to the Colts in week 1. Week 2, at Houston. They go out to Houston to take on those Texans, those pesky Texans, who are going to be a 3-win team next season. And that will be one of the Texans' only win, will be at home to the Colts, as the Colts will also lose this game and will be 0-2. Week 3, they head out to Baltimore to take on those dirty Ravens, and they'll lose that game. Week 4, home against the Rams, they'll lose that. Week 5 will be where they get their first win of the year. That will be at home against the Tennessee Titans. Week 6, at Jacksonville, they'll lose that one. Week 7, at home against the Browns, they will beat the Browns at home. Week 8, the losing streak starts again as they lose at home to the Saints. Then they'll lose at Carolina, and of course they'll lose in Germany against the Patriots. And they have a bye week. Then after the bye week, now during the bye week, they'll be talking. Is the kid really good enough for the NFL? The kid meaning the Richardson kid. Will Jonathan Taylor still be a Colt by then, right? We don't know. And other stuff could be going on. Or maybe Taylor's not there, and that's probably why they're so bad. But at this point, as they are 2-8 going into the bye week, after losing to New England, they'll lose badly because Mac Jones will put up a 35 on them. They'll be questioning things. Maybe the coach gets fired. Maybe they change things up. Maybe a coordinator gets fired. Somebody will be fired by the bye week, guaranteed. Now, after the bye week, they head home and they play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where they will win. It will be an emotional win for whoever is the new guy in charge. Whether it be a new coach, a new coordinator, they'll step up and get the W and snap their 3-game losing streak at home against Tampa Bay. And then the losing streak starts again as they will lose at Tennessee, at Cincinnati in back-to-back weeks. Come back home, they'll beat Pittsburgh for some reason. I don't know why, but they will. And then week 16 at Atlanta, they'll lose that. And then they'll lose week 17 at home against the Raiders. And then they'll close out the season in week 18 on January 7th. On a nice day, a nice cold day, they'll win at home against the Houston Texans to finish off their season 5-12. And that will be the preview there for the Colts. 5-12 season. And it will be a bad year for the Colts. Now, is there a margin of error here where things could they get to 7 wins, 8 wins, possibly if things shake the right way? There are a couple games that can go either way, right? I mean, at home against the Rams, they possibly could win that. I mean, they could possibly win week 2 at Houston, right? That'd be another 2 wins there. Or maybe they'll beat Carolina in Carolina somehow. Or maybe they win the game in Germany against the Patriots. Who knows? Right? So things can happen. There's a 3-game margin there. There's 3 games here that they could possibly plug off if everything goes perfectly. Now, these predictions here, guys, these are like worst case scenarios. Of course, in many of these games, we're going with worst case scenario and best case scenario, right? So if you're a net positive in my book, you're probably going to get the best case scenario prediction because we can't predict injuries and stuff like that. So you're either going to get worst case scenario or best case scenario. So in this case, this is the Colts' worst case scenario, 5-12. Best case scenario could be an 8-win team, maybe 7. But does it really matter? I mean, they still suck. And that's the bottom line. All right, folks, that's it for the Indianapolis Colts.